Welcome everybody to the first episode of Biryani Football Podcast. We are so happy to have you here today, and I'm Viraj. This is my co-host Vivek, and let's get right into it. So we're going to be starting off with the five most improved teams from the AFC and the five most improved teams from the NFC. Now, most improved doesn't mean that they're the best or that they have the highest chance of winning the Super Bowl. It's just that they've done the most with what they've could in the offseason. So they might still be bad teams, and you might disagree with some of these, but this is from our opinion, and let us know in the comments what you think. So why don't we get right into it?
Right. And week one, for our podcast, as you can see, there's no biryani today, but we'll make sure we'll have biryani from next week. Just want to make sure we have a lot of content to cram through today. And like Virat said, we'll go through the offseason, AFC versus NFC, and top five and top five in both conferences. This doesn't mean that they're the best teams in the conferences. It just means that they made the most of their offseason. So right off the bat, Denver Broncos, I'll only give like a couple of players just to keep it simple from these teams. From Denver Broncos, for me, the two big guys, that actually came from 49ers, Ray Greenlaw and Hufanga, from 49ers. I think that's going to be pretty good. They're going to have an immediate impact. Obviously, question mark about some of the health issues around Greenlaw, but we'll see. And they also had J.K. Dobbins and Zach Allen, Evan Ingram on the offensive side of things. So that's man number one. What do you think, Raj? Any comments?
Yeah, I think that J.K. Dobbins he's definitely going to improve the run game for sure, but we're going to see how much he's going to be able to bounce back, especially considering he's a very injury prone person. But I personally like his style. I think he's a big guy. He runs straight through people, and he was doing pretty good in the Ravens until that injury unfortunately happened. But I think he has a bright future ahead of him.
Number two, Buffalo Bills. The rich get richer. Obviously did the right thing by re-signing Josh Allen to the big contract. Well deserved. I think he's a really good addition for Buffalo Bills back in the day, and he has been consistently a superstar for their team. And they also, gave him some depth at the wide receiver group as well. I mean, re-signing Khalil Shakir for 4 years. And on the defensive side, Terrell Bernard, Greg Rousseau, who's also a really, really good guy on the other side. And on a free agency side of things, Joey Bosa, we don't know how effective he'll be, but he's replacing an aging Von Miller, who was also towards the end of his prime. So we'll see. A defensive tackle, Larry Ogunjobi, he also is a new addition on the defensive side of things. So we'll see how it is. But I think, they did pretty good on both offense and defense side. Any comments?
I'm just gonna say that the Bills did have the best turnover ratio, which I think was one of the most important statistics for a defense, and so they're doing really good with that. And bringing Joey Bosa is definitely gonna help. He might not be the best right now, and he is getting up there in age, and he's very injury prone. But I think he will make a pretty big impact, better than Von Miller ever did with the Bills. I think that Von Miller was a huge mistake signing by the Bills, and I think Joey Bosa is definitely gonna fix that. How much dependence they should put on him in? Not that much, but I think he will make a good impact. And they definitely could have done more with the wide receiver room, but I think so far it's pretty good.
Number three, Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, they revamped the entire QB room. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers' era is starting in, I guess it's only 1 year, not era. Probably. That's what he said, at least. It's going to be just like a 1 year deal with the Steelers before he rides off into the sunset. And they also brought DK Metcalf, who was a number one wide receiver. We haven't had one of those. When I'm saying we are the Steelers almost, obviously. So that's a great addition. Jalen Ramsey, Jonas Smith, Malik Harrison, Kenneth Gainwell, Darius Slay, all these big names. How much impact they'll have right on the field from week one is yet to be seen, but a lot of talent on paper. Obviously, on the QB side of things, Will Howard through draft and Mason Rudolph coming back home to Steelers. Especially Rudolph looked really good in the preseason. So we'll see how that goes. But, a good offseason for Steelers.
Yeah, I think that the Steelers, they've been performing pretty well. Well, not pretty well last year, but I think they'll have a good chance to be good this year. Definitely bolster up their defense. I know that Jalen Ramsey and Darius Slay are getting up there in age, but they can be good mentors to the younger cornerbacks on the Steelers who have been pretty good. Beanie Bishop Jr. came out of nowhere last year and played amazing. So I think that they're going to be pretty good this year, especially with Johnny Smith. He's one of Arthur Smith's go-to guys when on the Falcons, so I think that they're going to be pretty tight this year. But I don't know how well they're going to be able to convert that into playoff wins and how they're going to get their win record again.
Agreed. Next is Baltimore Ravens. I think the biggest signing for me for Ravens is Kyle Hamilton. I mean, that guy is a really smart guy, right in the safety, right in the middle of the field. Fantastic, fantastic guy, team leader. No drama. That's like the coach's dream. Not to have any drama, but at the same time, consistently just produce on the field. They obviously signed Derrick Henry and DeAndre Hopkins, re-signing them basically. Ronnie Stanley, Patrick Ricard. I think those are pretty significant moves as well. So, but the rich get richer. I mean, obviously, Lamar Jackson is a straw that they drink from. He is like the guy who makes or breaks a team. But these are pretty good additions for them. Next up is Raiders. Raiders, I was surprised to see their name up there just because of the moves that they made. Obviously, Geno Smith, coming to Raiders and playing from coming from Seattle along with Pete Carroll. Got Alex Kappa, Jeremy Chin, Devin White, Landon Roberts on the linebacker side of things. Raheem Mostert, defensive tackles like Fotu, Booker, Eric Stokes, wide receiver Amari Cooper, who's probably a little old and slow, but still. And, not the last but the least, not the least, but just because in the last is Kenny Pickett, going to Raiders. That's pretty interesting. Not that it's going to like immediately improve the team, but a lot of good moves on the Raiders side. So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the Raiders, I don't know how good they're going to play this year, but they definitely did make an attempt to be better this year. They got Landon Roberts, who personally, when he's on the Steelers, he played pretty good. I think that he is going to be good for them, especially fixing some of that defense and kind of helping Max Crosby a little bit. Geno Smith, he's getting Amari Cooper, both veterans who can get the job done pretty well. Amari Cooper does have a little bit of chip on his shoulder, hasn't been playing as great as he should have been these last few years, but I think that he's still got a few years left in him, so I'm going to see how well Pete Carroll's system is going to work.
Yeah, I agree. All right, moving on to NFC. Number one is Arizona Cardinals. Josh Sweat, the edge rusher from the Eagles, I believe, right from last year Super Bowl. Like he's amazing. He's really did really so well. Delvin Tomlinson on the DT side. He's a good run stuffer, especially NFC West. To a lot of run heavy teams there. So I think that's a good move. Jacoby Brissett, a seasoned QB, to kind of back up Kyler Murray, who sometimes miss games across the seasons consistently. So it's a good quarterback to backup quarterback. Calais Campbell, another name, and good receiver signings as well with Zay Jones and Simi Faheko, and also bolstering on the O-line with Jake Curhan, Evan Brown, Kelvin Beachum, and Michael Walker and JJ Russell on the linebacker side of things. So good, good overall improvements both on the offensive and defensive side of things, helping out Kyler Murray with a good quarterback in the room and also good O-line and good running backs. Yeah.
He summed it up pretty well.
Yeah. Next up is Los Angeles Rams. Stafford, as long as Stafford is playing very well, which we don't know yet. I mean, he had a back injury or back scare, if you will, and he says that he's doing really good right now. But we'll see how that goes because as how Stafford plays is how the team goes. But the biggest acquisition for them is Davante Adams. I think he's going to have an immediate impact for Stafford, and I think the duo is going to do magic on the field. So we'll see.
Yeah, I think getting Davante Adams is a good idea, especially considering that they lost Cooper Kupp. Davante Adams didn't play that great last year with the Jets. I think that's mostly Aaron Rodgers' fault last year. I think that Davante Adams will be a pretty good complement to Puka Nacua. Rams are always going to be good as long as they got Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford together. I think they'll always be a good contender for the Super Bowl.
Yeah. All right, next up is Washington Commanders. I mean, who would have thought they'll go that far last year? I mean, they played really well. Building on the top of it, I mean, their coach is one of my favorite coaches. He brings it. He brings it every year, even with Falcons. He was really good. He turned the team around. So I think he's going to continue to build this team and lead the team up front very well. They got Laramie Tunsil, 4th-round pick from Houston, Texas for multiple draft picks. Samuel Sr., obviously. They traded away Brian Robinson Jr. and, obviously Terry McLaurin. Yeah, those are some of the big names. And, obviously they re-signed some of their own guys. Noah Brown, Jay Osborne, Michael Gallup, Zach Ertz, Josh Bates, some of their, the Commanders' household names. So they brought them back in. But I think, overall a solid offseason.
Yeah, I mean, you summed it up pretty well. I mean, the Commanders... Is Shane Dale going to have that sophomore slump again, or is he going to be playing like he did last year, or even better, hopefully? And I think that they did a good job to bolster up that defense, getting some new guys in. and with Dan Quinn's defensive-minded coach. So I think they're going to be pretty good this year.
Yeah. Next up is Green Bay Packers. I mean, probably they were not even on the list until like 3 days ago when there's a trade up for Michael Parsons. Probably crazy, crazy trade. But that definitely, gives them an edge for the other teams. Not, I mean, I don't know how much they play really tight in NFC North, but definitely a big winning move for Green Bay Packers. They also have Josh Jacobs instead of Aaron Jones, the long-time running back, and also on the offensive line. They got Aaron Banks, other folks on the offensive line as well. And finally, they really showed up on the wide receiver side of things, with Matthew Golden in the first round and then double dip into the draft with Savion Williams. So two really good wide receivers who had speed and versatility in their receiver core. And, Max Crosby, big guy, not Max Crosby, Mason Crosby. Who am I confusing with? They have Brandon McManus to a 3-year, which means it's not a 1-year deal, but means they believe in Brandon McManus and they're going to continue to give him more opportunities to play really well. So I think the Packers are looking pretty good with that crazy move from the Cowboys.
They are lacking a little bit in the secondary, especially because they lost Jair Alexander this year, and so to the Ravens. So I think that they should have made a little bit improvement to their secondary, but overall, their defense is going to be pretty good, especially now they got Micah Parsons. They did have to pay a hefty sum, though. They lost Kenny Clark, who is a pretty good player for the Packers the last couple of years, but he's gone now to the Cowboys. And they did lose 2 first-round picks, so they're really hoping that Micah Parsons is going to be the guy who he's been like for the past couple of years.
Yeah. Finally, it's the Vikings. I mean, the story of the Vikings in off-season, if I have to sum up in one word, is basically what do they think about JJ McCarthy? And that means making sure that it's protected, shoring up the offensive O-line, so they brought in Will Fries and Ryan Kelly, which, that definitely adds a lot of depth to the O-line. On the D-line, they have Jonathan Allen and Javon Hargrave to provide a solid interior pass rush. And obviously, they brought back the running back, Aaron Jones, cornerback Byron Murphy Jr., and Harrison Smith. Again, we even in the draft, they went O-line heavy. Donovan Jackson with a versatile guard from Ohio State and receivers Ty Felton and defensive lineman Terrace Ingram Dawkins. So overall, across the board, more through draft or through off-season picks or re-signing or within their own guys, I think the Vikings did pretty good. I think it's a story of JJ McCarthy, basically. How is he going to use his weapons and the confidence that Kevin O'Connell and the brass of Vikings has on him. So
yeah, I think it really, like you said. I mean, the Vikings have a good system going on. They made Sam Darnold look good last year, so they've restarted his career. So I think that JJ McCarthy should have no problem. All it has to do is just get the ball in the hands of Jettis or Jordan Addison, who's gone for a little bit. But there's something that JJ McCarthy doesn't have. So they have a good defense. They were one of the best defenses in the league last year. They have one of the best defensive coordinators with Brian Flores. So I think they have everything they need. It's just up to JJ McCarthy to make it work.
All right. So let us know what you guys think in the comments on what you think. And we'll go right now into a rapid fire of week 1 picks. Real quick, we'll go through all the games and give you our picks and maybe a comment or two about why we think they're going to win. So the first game is Cowboys at Eagles.
Yeah, so obviously it's going to be interesting to see how the Cowboys are playing, how their defense is going to be without Micah Parsons. So obviously I think the Cowboys are going to not be able to play that well. I mean, Dak Prescott, I don't think he's going to be good this year. I mean, he's just too unpredictable, too many turnovers, and I just don't know how he's going to play this year. They got Schottenheimer. I mean, he's not even that great of a coach. I don't know why they would hire him, but I think the Eagles are going to win, and it won't be that close.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's a Super Bowl buzz in Eagles. Michael Parsons not there, who can wreck the game. New coach, a lot of new things on the Cowboys. A lot of unknowns, basically, to your point. So I think Eagles are going to win. Next game, actually, we have a Friday game this year. Chiefs at Chargers.
Be able to take advantage of that and win in Brazil.
All right, going in onto the Sunday games, basically. I mean, actually, I have to make a thing as well, right? So I do believe Chiefs are going to win. Just because of the Super Bowl loss, and they will come strong. Just to prove a point that they're still contenders for this year as well. Going into Sunday games, Bucks at the Falcons.
Yeah, so the Bucks are pretty good right now. They got Bucky Irving. They got a good run game going. They got Mike Evans, who's always gonna, he's never gonna let you down. And then there's on the other hand, there's the Falcons, who are with Michael Penix Jr. right now. Who knows how he's gonna play? He played all right the end of last season. He was playing pretty good, so I think the Falcons are gonna be pretty good this year. But I don't know if they're gonna do the Buccaneers, the Buccaneers. Obviously, Baker Mayfield. I don't think that he's gonna let them down either, and so I think the Bucks are gonna win this one.
Yeah, I agree. Bucks, Bucks, they're really good. I mean, the coach, the quarterback, they're more experienced and they're solid on their side, proven people. So I think the Bucks are going to win.
Yeah.
Next up is Bengals at Browns.
The Bengals, they have a great offense. Hopefully, their defense is going to be better. Trey Hendrickson's going to lead them with the big contract that he got. And so I think that the Bengals will come out on top against the Browns, who knows who their quarterback is and what's going on there. Hopefully, Myles Garrett will be able to do something against that O-line that the Bengals have. I don't really know. And I think that the Bengals are going to come away with it.
I agree. I mean, Browns are Browns, unfortunately. Browns are like, one of the most loyal fans, seriously.
Yeah.
I mean, they've been through so much, but they still come in numbers to really support their team, which is
Yeah.
fantastic. But, somehow they just get messed either by the coaching or the brass or the players sometimes. But anyways, I think Bengals are due for a good season this year, and they'll start with the Browns. I think the focus is going to be like, Zach Taylor had mentioned, they really want to start hot because they always are like 0-3, 0-4, and all of a sudden, like, they are in a hole, and they never seem to get out of that hole until the playoffs. So I think it's going to be interesting, and Bengals are going to win this game. Next up is Dolphins at Colts.
So Dolphins at Colts, I mean, it's going to be a good matchup. Dolphins, obviously, they're not playing. They haven't been playing good, but they are an early season team. They always start off hot, and then something happens. So I'm gonna have to go with them on this time, and I do think that they're gonna win. The Colts, obviously, if Daniel Jones starting, they don't really have a quarterback, and that's where everything starts. And from there, I mean, their team it's just not up to par. I don't think they're gonna win this one, and the Dolphins are gonna come away with it again.
Yeah, I agree. I think Tua is going to be hot. They have something to prove this year. A lot of negative talk about Dolphins towards the end of the last year. So I think they'll come back pretty strong. Daniel Jones, new quarterback, new system. So maybe they'll get hot, but not in game one. So I think the Dolphins will win. Next up is Panthers at Jaguars.
Yeah, so the Panthers are a team that have been red hot since last year. They've been playing amazing the last couple games last season. They almost made the playoffs, which is insane. I thought they were going to make it, honestly. And I really like their quarterback, Bryce Young. He just has that persistent attitude to just never give up, and I really like that in him. And I do think they're going to win this one. And I really like their head coach, Dave Canales, too. He's a very motivating person. And then there's the Jaguars, who knows what's going on over there. Trevor Lawrence. Is he going to be good this year? Is he not going to be good? Who knows? And their coach, Liam Cohen, came from the Bucks. I don't know how he's going to be. They do have that one good wide receiver, though, that rookie, Brian Robinson. But other than that, I don't see them being good this year.
I actually think Jaguars are going to be good this year. I think this is a prove me kind of game and season for Trevor Lawrence. I mean, I feel bad for him because he has been in so many systems in his short career.
Yeah.
No excuse. I mean, people still, superstars still deliver. But I think Jaguars are going to pull this off. Next up is Raiders at Patriots.
This is going to be one of those games where it could really go any side because on one hand, you got the Patriots who haven't really proven themselves, and who knows how they're going to be, but they did really get a good defense. I think that they're going to come on top with this one with Drake May, and they got Mike Vrabel, who's a great leader. He's a very inspiring person. He led the Titans a couple years ago, and so to that AFC Championship. So I think the Patriots will win this one. Raiders just have like too much problems they need to handle. I don't know how they're going to be able to come against this good Patriots defense.
Yep. And, the biggest thing is like, traveling East Coast from West Coast. I think that's going to be a big factor. 1 o'clock game, that means it's pretty much like, 10 a.m. in the morning. That means they have to like start like 6 a.m., 7 a.m., or even earlier, the body clocks. That's a big adjustment for week one. Week one itself is an adjustment game for a lot of teams. Mike Vrabel is going to bring it. And Drake May is talked very highly, and I think they're going to prove a point. Tom Brady's statue is there. That's a big story. So I think Patriots are going to win this game. Next up is Cardinals at Saints.
The Cardinals at Saints, who is going to win? I really couldn't tell you. Both teams are teams that have been struggling a lot in the last couple seasons. Cardinals with Kyler Murray. It's a very important season for Kyler Murray. I mean, how is he going to be able to play this year? But I think the Cardinals have improved a lot. Like they're on our list earlier, and I do think they're going to come away with the wins. Saints just, I mean, they have Spencer Rattler starting as a quarterback. That pretty much sums up their entire situation over there. They get a good head coach on Kellen Moore, who led the Eagles to the Super Bowl win last year, but I think it's going to take a couple years for them to be good again.
Wonder like if Saints are trying to get Arch Manning because Louisiana native, his parents, his grandparents are from Louisiana. I don't know, but I mean the roster looks like they want to tank this year. Seriously, I think that should be an easy win for Cardinals at Saints. Next up is Steelers at Jets. That's the game you're going to be there. So.
Yeah. So Steelers at Jets. Obviously, they did a little quarterback swap there with Justin Fields and Aaron Rodgers. They switched teams, and I think that's going to be a pretty good game. Aaron Rodgers, how is he going to play? I think he's going to play good. He was coming back from an a horrible injury that most people never even come back from. So the fact that he's even playing is amazing. But you can't expect him to play good last season. So I don't think last season really counts for him. I think he will be good this season. He had a little bit of troubles in training camp, but I think he will be up to par. And Justin Fields also, they're both acclimating to new systems. So I think it will be a close game, but I think the Steelers will come out with the win. Just because, Mike Tomlin is an experienced coach. He knows how to handle these situations. And then there's Aaron Glenn, who's first time being a head coach, first time being in this position, and they don't really have the most amazing defense, so I think that the Steelers will be able to take the win here.
Yeah, I think the angle I'm coming from is this year is like Aaron Rodgers was pissed off at Jets last year. The way they departed from him. I mean, I'm not saying Aaron Rodgers is a saint by any means. Obviously, we are Steelers homers, and really like our quarterback now this year. But he was pissed off at the way that Jets dealt it. That can be a bulletin board material for him and the Steelers. So I think the Steelers are going to win, even though the jerseys are swapped across the two quarterbacks. The experience, like you said, Viraj counts. I think Mike Tomlin is going to show Aaron Glenn, who the experience counts. So I think the Steelers are going to win. The next up is Giants at Commanders.
So the Giants, obviously, they are going to be doing pretty good. They got new quarterback room. They've pretty much revamped the entire thing. They got Russell Wilson. They got Jameis Winston. They got Jackson Dart. Jax Dart played amazing in the preseason. And I thought he was a reach in the first round, but turns out that he's actually he might be one of the best rookies if they let him play this year. So I think that they have a good chance of winning. They got a pretty good offense going right now, and they have a good chance at being good this year, but I do think that the Commanders are still going to come out on top.
Yeah.
It's because of the hot seat that they're riding on right now.
I agree. I think Giants have a lot of upside because of the draft picks and the additions, but the Commanders are a proven team. They're going to win. At the same time, it's a home game for them. It's a division home game, so it's tough. It doesn't matter how well the teams are stacked up. It's tough to win against a division rival at their home. The next up is Titans at Broncos.
Titans with the new quarterback Cam Ward. How are they going to play this year? What's going to go on with them, and how are they going to be able to function with their new quarterback? Cam Ward obviously struggled a little bit in the preseason, and his wide receiver is also, they also been struggling, and how they can be able to adjust to this new way, and I don't think that they will be able to adjust, and I don't know how good Cam Ward is going to be. For that reason, I'm going to say the Titans are not going to be able to win this one.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Titans they have a loss written for them. They're going to travel to West Coast. Bo Nix is hot. Sean Payton is super hot. They have a good team. Playing in Empower Stadium is no joke. Traveling all the way to West Coast. So I think that's going to be a tough task for a rookie quarterback and his team. So Broncos are going to win this one. Next up is 49ers at Seahawks.
Niners, are they going to be able to redeem themselves or not? That's the question for themselves. Is Brock Purdy going to finally be able to prove that he is the quarterback that is their savior? Or is it just going to be another system quarterback that can't play without his wide receivers? It's all going to be revealed this season, and the same thing with the Seahawks. Is Sam Darnold just a season quarterback last year, or is he really someone who can really push the Seahawks to being a playoff contender yet again? And so I think it will be close. The Seahawks do have a good defense. They got Mike McDaniels, who's the defensive coach, and 49ers with offensive Kyle Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan also has a lot to prove. He also has a big chip on his shoulder, never winning a Super Bowl despite being to 3 so far, one with the Falcons. So I think there is stuff that both coaches have to prove, and I do think the 49ers will be able to come out on top in this one, though.
I think so too. So I think 49ers are going to win this one. I mean, even though it's a home game for Seattle Seahawks, it's a division game. They play tough with each other, but I think the experience of the coach and also the quarterback kind of really shows up here, and I think they're going to win the game. Next one is an NFC North showdown between Lions and Packers.
This is going to be a close game, honestly. I think that it can go either way. But the Lions, they don't have their former coordinators that they used to. They don't really have the same firepower they used to. Some people got injured last year. How are they going to be able to readjust themselves in a regular season game against the Packers, who are just going to come all out at them? They got Michael Parsons. Now their defense is going to be crazy. For that reason, I'm going to have to say that the Packers are going to win this one, surprisingly.
I think Michael Parsons is going to have an immediate impact. He wants to show the Cowboys, why it was a mistake. Jordan Love was super high last year, and I think he's going to build on it. I think, it's a win for Packers. Yeah. I don't think it's a blowout. I think Lions play tough, and they usually are injury prone towards mid-season, so they're going to play very well. But it's a home team, it's a home game for Packers with new additions. So the Packers are going to win. Next game is Texans at Rams.
Texans at Rams. Texans obviously with CJ Stroud coming on his third year. He had a little bit down year last year, but Nico Collins also was injured, and I think he's back. So I think that he's going to be able to have a good impact this year, and I do think that he's going to play good this year, and I think that the Texans have a good chance of winning. But then on the other side, we got Matthew Stafford and Sean McVay. You can never count them out of anything, and so it is going to be a good game. I think it's going to be one of the closer games in this first opening week. The NFL did a really good job with these matchups in the opening week to lure people in, but I do think the Texans are actually going to win this one, just for the sole reason that Texans are a good contender. They got Joe Mixon, they got Nico Collins, have a good wide receiver depth, and they're just a better team overall than the Rams, I think.
Yeah, but you forgot Devonta Adams, though. So I think that's going to be a good matchup. And I think the Rams are going to pull away with a win in this game against Texans. But I agree, they're going to have a really good matchup. It's a good tough game for Rams. Everything is, NFL itself is, there's no easy games, but I do believe Rams are going to win at a home game. Next one, which I think might be a January match, played in September. Ravens at Bills.
Ravens, obviously, they had that horrible loss last year on that one drop 2-point conversion. It's very hard to watch. But I do think that the Ravens are a better team overall. They're just more well-rounded than the Bills right now. They got more big names that are playing, and they just are a better team overall than the Bills. And for that reason, I can't say the Bills are going to win this one, and the Ravens are going to come out on top.
This game can go either way for me. Ravens at Bills. Like I said, it might be the championship game preview right now, in AFC. But I do believe Bills are going to win. It's a home game from Bills, and it's tough to win in Buffalo. I know it's not winter yet, but I think people are coming numbers and fill up the stadium, and the whole Buffalo Bills Mafia is going to be there. Mm-hmm. It's going to be electric. I have yet to see, in these pressure games, how Lamar Jackson performs, especially against the Bills. So I'm taking the Bills. Last game, Monday night game. Vikings at Bears.
Vikings at Bears. Who's going to win? Obviously, Vikings, we got JJ McCarthy. How's he going to play this year? He was pretty good in Michigan. A lot of people were saying that it wasn't a good take for them to Vikings taking JJ McCarthy so early, but I do think that he is a good pick and that he will play good. The only thing is, though, JJ McCarthy is a little bit dependent on the run. Not really good at those long passes, which is kind of what the Vikings are known for. So I don't know how he's going to really fit into that. I think that overall they're going to be a pretty good team. And I think that JJ McCarthy will be pretty good. And if Caleb Williams, obviously, I don't know how good he's going to be. I personally don't have a lot of faith in him. So I don't think that the Bears are going to be good again this year. And there's not enough people on the Bears to make Caleb Williams look good. So I think the Vikings are going to win.
I disagree, actually. I think Ben Johnson is up for the task. The reason he went with Bears is for Caleb Williams. I think he has a point to prove. I think they're going to play really hard. JJ McCarthy, unproven, and obviously tremendous college career. I agree. But what is he going to bring to the table in NFL is yet to be seen. But I think it's too soon for week one to really crown him up as the next quarterback for Vikings. And Caleb Williams already has a season under his belt, and Ben Johnson knows how to play to the strengths of the players, and also for Caleb Williams. So I think he's going to be great. So all right, so Bears win the game in the last game of week one on Monday Night Football. So that's our picks for week one. Let us know what you guys think in the comments, and if you agree, disagree, or how do you guys feel about it. See you guys in week 2 and enjoy the season.
Thank you
Bye.
guys. See you next time.